Hi, Jeremy Hendricks again, Regional Educator with Fantastic Sam's and National Design Team member. So we're back discussing our Pulpriot hair color and lighteners available for use within the FS salons. So we're also going to link this with an advanced technique. Most of you are familiar with color melting. However, the technique that we'll be doing today is called a holographic color melt by Pulpriot. So this technique is great for your guests who love fashion colors that like to wear multiple tones in one. So it'll actually create some depth around their perimeter and around their part, making it appear more subtle in a sense, but really focusing on those pops of color throughout the middle from crown down to about occipital. It creates a very soft blend of the fashion shades that you use, and you can actually create a palette of whatever you and your guest actually like. It could be from pastels, it could be a range of purples, it could be corals, whatever you guys identify that is great for their skin tone and that they are comfortable wearing. You can do that. So in the next steps of the video, I'm going to actually walk you through how to actually apply this actual pattern to your guest. So we're going to talk about mixing, we're going to talk about pre-lightening with the Blonde AF lightener, and then we're going to come back and talk about our application a little bit, and then at the end we'll show you the end results. So let's jump right in. So this is our awesome model, Ellie. So we started with pre-lightening her with Pulpriot Blonde AF. We did a progression of developers, starting with 20 in the back, transitioning to 30 and ending in 40. That way that we could get a nice and consistent even lift. So now her canvas, she had a previous color on that was red. So we got her lifted to about a level 7, a little lighter towards her new growth area. And once we got her dried, we went straight into our sectioning. So we started with taking a diamond shaped section in the top, identifying where her natural part was, because we want our diamond section to fall over that part. So we took it from front hairline, ending the diamond towards her crown in the back. Once we did that, we took diagonal forwards partings on each side, and we isolated each one of those sections. Next, we took a section from the crown to the top of the occipital, creating a section here, and then we left our section down at the very bottom because that's going to be our starting point. Okay. So we're starting with our color formulations. So we're starting with a noir to actually apply at her roots because she wants to keep a darker root shade. Then we actually move to Nemesis, and I'm actually going to apply some Nightfall just to give it some depth because this is going to be our darkest color. Next, we're going to go to Aquatic.
Yeah, sure.
Mixed with a little absentee green. Our next formula, we're going to be using Countess. Mixed with some jam. And then our last formula, we're going to use jam, and we're going to incorporate velvet. So I hope you enjoyed watching our beautiful model Ellie go through her transition with the holographic color melts technique. So on Ellie, we used several tones, as you guys saw previously. So we made some custom mixtures using jam, we used velvet, we used a little bit of Nevermore with a little bit of noir just to customize, and we even used a little bit of Countess or Aquatic in different formulas. So once Ellie got done, as you saw in just this previous video, her end result, she had a nice, beautiful variation of tone. You could definitely see that aquatic peeking through along with that velvet and that jam. So it appeared very subtle when you looked at her from her part, and she had beautiful depth underneath, but just really concentrating on those tones within the middle from her crown down to her occipital, just to break it up, give her a little bit of separation and dimension. So this is a great advanced technique that you can take back into the salon and offer to your guests that are looking or that love to receive fashion colors. It's just taking it up a bit, taking it up to the next level. This is a great way to actually increase your average ticket. And don't forget, after you've achieved this wonderful color service, don't forget to recommend the perfect home hair care to actually preserve this at home for your guest. I look forward to seeing you in our next videos. Go. Alrighty, so we're starting in our back section, and we're going to apply our darker shade to her mid-lengths and ends. We went in with Noir at her root because she did decide she wanted a root shade, so we just want to enhance what she already had there. So I'm going to be sure, once I apply the color, I'm going to work my brush vertically to allow the hair to roll, to ensure that we're getting great saturation and that we're covering all of her hair. So we're going to do that to this entire back section. So in our next section, we're going to go through and apply our darkest color. So since she had the root shade, again, we're going in with Noir to just enhance what she already has. In this section, you want to make sure that you're working in small sections. I don't like to bring it down more than 1.5 inches. Reason being is Pulpriot color, because it is conditioner based and protein based, it will encapsulate the hair, so it will start to dry out. So when you go back to actually start your melting technique, it can actually cause problems with your blending. So small sections, no more than 1 inch to 1.5 inches. Okay. So now we're about to start our melting technique. So we're going to start with a 1 inch high subsection. Taking it horizontally across the head. Now we're going to come in and we're going to take a 1 inch block. So 1 inch by 1 inch. And now we're going to start to alternate our colors. So we're going to have our melted panel here. Our next panel will actually be our deepest color, our nightfall, and our nemesis. And we'll continue that pattern all the way until we have completed this section all the way up to the crown. So we're going to apply our side sections the exact same way. So we're starting with the Noir for her root shade. And then we're going to continue our 1 inch high by 1 inch sections, continuing our same pattern that we did in the back on both sides of the head. Okay. You're good. So now we're to our top and final section. So we're going to continue applying the Noir to her roots to continue her root shade throughout. And then we're going to take our darkest color, the Nemesis and the Nightfall, and we'll apply it to her mid-lengths and ends throughout this whole section. We'll be back in a sec with results. Alright, so this is our finished result with Ellie. So we have our dimensional colors through, and we actually have our darkest color on bottom, giving us some good depth and contrast. You'll spin for me, Ellie. So we have some of her violet popping through, a little bit of her teal. Alright, so this is her finished end result.
Beautiful.